Let's travel back to a time where Super Nintendo and Sega Mega Drive, aka Sega Genesis, were battling it out. Let's travel back to a time where Tamagotchi existed. Do you remember those? Yeah, that was a weird thing. But for some reason I still had one. Weird. But let's travel back to a time where Vanilla Ice's initial career was frozen, basically. Lucky. I love the 90s. But now let's look at a movie with maybe one of the Chinese top dog actors. Back then, Andy Lau. Dragon Jail, or Yu Zonglong in the original, tells about a young man called Henry that is currently in prison. After he is released in certain events, he joins a gang and soon after he has to count on his friend Wayne to rescue him. This movie tries hard to be great, and it can be great in certain parts. Yet others were a bit lacking. Are the Chinese always that nice to prisoners? Because the prison in the beginning, where we meet our heroes, seemed like a camp of some sorts and not an actual prison. The story seemed a little choppy and thrown together. Certain scenes came a little out of nowhere and without any real reason for it. But on the other hand, when the hell would they explain why the heroes were in prison? Still, that part could have been done a little better. Another thing that could be done better would be the time itself. At certain points they just jump a certain period without allowing the audience to know how much time actually went by. Jumps like that don't benefit the movie at all, since you constantly have to ask, wait, what the hell happened? How much time did pass by? And for the rest of the story, it was not that impressive, but still it was a nice and enjoyable one. This can maybe be classified as a revenge story, with Henry in the middle and how one false move, which in this case is more to save his life, can lead to events that not only affects him but also everybody dear to him. The actors did a very good job here, and combining it with the story, decent camera work and believable action, then I would say you have a good movie here. Yeah, it can be somewhat cheesy to look at, and maybe even acted based on today's standards, and the flow of the scenes can be confusing at times. But overall I still would recommend this one. It was more enjoyable and somewhat more real than I expected. And the lesson here is, don't do drugs, kids, even if the intentions are good.